Lauri Lehtinen, welcome to Estonian Open.
Thank you.
The quartermark course. So you've been coming back after you've had an injury and you've had a long recovery.
That's true.
And how does it feel to come back after such a long break?
Amazing, I can say that. It was really a long winter for me. Like, I wasn't sure if I'm going to play disc golf ever again, and like things like that. I was like 6 months basically throwing 0 shots, and yeah, it was rough, but luckily I'm here now.
Yeah, and during that time, what activities and exercises did you do during that time to stay physically and mentally fit?
I decided to go to military service and do it now, and it was a really good decision for me. Like, I got to do something and wasn't just hanging around.
So back to this course and the course layout.
It's great. It's not the most longest holes for sure, but like I enjoy throwing here, and yeah, nothing bad to say about this course. If I would be the designer, maybe a couple more longer shots would be involved, but other than that, it's great.
That could be something for the TD for next year, maybe. What would it mean to you to beat Paul McBeth and win the trophy after a close second place here last year?
Yeah, that's true. I finished second last year. Then it was Niklas. Now it's Paul, who is probably the highest rated at the moment here, and he is, yeah, definitely. But yeah, it would be great, of course, after the injury and everything. But like, that's not what I'm expecting, of course.
And you have a chance, if you take a win here, you will be a 2-time EPT winner in the Open division. What would it mean to you to be able to take that title?
Of course, it would be huge, especially when Paul is involved. He is one of the best in the world, if not the best. But yeah, it would be big.
Yeah. We have a question from the Finnish podcast Ykkösrinki, and this is quoted from your Instagram. There were times I thought I'm never going to play a round of disc golf again, and this is referring to your injury period. How grim was the situation with your injury, and how is it actually now?
It's like surprisingly well going at the moment. Like the joint was, so it was the middle finger, the last joint of the middle finger, and it was quite like inflected last autumn and winter. So I had to wait that to recover, and the joint is still like really loose, but like I had to change my grip completely, and now it's doing quite well. Of course, I still have to like not throw that many shots like every day, so I have to be a little bit careful what I do, but like it's doing just fine.
So Frisbee Golf Media, also from Finland, they ask, according to Statmander, you are one of the few ones in the field who have experienced beating Paul McBeth. Do you have any other tips for other players who might want to do that?
Actually, I didn't know that has happened, but does it say like when has that happened?
We don't have any details.
So yeah, I don't have any tips.
Maybe play
it's hard.
Yeah. And back to our commentator team asking, what is the best way for our viewers to help support you as a player?
Probably following all the social medias and everything. If you want to buy a Singtor disc, also, of course, that's one way to do it. I really appreciate all of that.
Yeah, great. And Frisbee Golf Media again ask, you had a pretty good start for the season in Tallinn last weekend. Are you happy about that result?
Of course, how I say it, like coming off like off season like this, I can be really happy about that. Yeah. But like, of course, being fourth is not what I'm looking for, but it was a great comeback tournament for me.
Yeah. And last question again from Frisbee Golf Media. According to UDisc, your next tournament will be in the US. Why did you decide to compete there during the summer?
Actually, that's not true. I'm not going to play there, and I need to drop out from those.
Okay.
I just decided that, like, really recently, that I'm not going there.
Yeah. And one this year, what do you think the good score will be here for the weekend?
You mean like all 3 rounds?
Yeah.
I think to win it takes like maybe 30 under or something. I think you need to average like 9 or 10 down to do it. Of course the weather is what it is, but like still I feel like ball is going to shoot hot here.
Let's see. And at the very end here, is there anyone you would like to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors?
Of course, thanks to my sponsors, Latius64 and Fribastore and Vivo Kauppa for these shoes and aamuja 215 Tikkakoskelle.
Okay, thank you very much, Lauri, and I hope to see you again during the weekend. Thank you. Awesome.
Just say this.
Luke Bayne,
Hi.
welcome to Estonia Open.
Thank you very much.
And
Pleasure to be here again.
And as you said, this is your second time here. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. Fortunate to play here last year and in slightly warmer conditions, but it's a pleasure to be back. It's nice to be able to check out a course that you've already played, so it's not too much iterating, and yeah, it's fun and more challenging, which is good, really good.
And generally, how does it feel to be back in Europe?
Oh, it's great. And like this year is a little bit more developed. I've got a few more tournaments on the tour. So last year we had, I think, 3 in Europe, including European Open and World Teams in Croatia. But this year is 8 events in 8 weeks. So it's kind of action-packed and, yeah, living the dream.
Yeah.
So it's great.
And you already mentioned your tour, like part of your tour plans. Apart from Europe, what are your tour plans?
I've got a few other tournaments scheduled in the US, which I'm very fortunate to be a part of. Ledgestone and a couple other Silver Series events, and hopefully do well enough and get some invitations for a few others. But yeah, see how that goes.
Yeah, and you already brushed a little bit over the layout here. What do you think about this course, the layout and the property itself?
Good question. I know that last year it wasn't intimidating, but it was definitely challenging. We don't have a lot of wooded golf that's kind of like this. So really good fun. Challenging. Yeah, as I said, it's nice to be back and it doesn't feel as overwhelming. It's cool to see some shots from last year and be able to sort of test them out this year. So very good fun, but I mean, it's still the same very challenging technical course. If you hit a tree early or get unfortunate, yeah, scramble is tough. So, but I love it. And
that could kind of be I think that might be the answer to the next question. What does it take to get a good score on this course?
I mean, you've got to be dialed, obviously. If you're hitting your lines and you're not doing too much more, you just hit your lines, I think you can obviously be playing really well. But who knows what the conditions are going to be like? It's meant to be windier, maybe rainy. So low expectations and see how that goes.
Yeah. So we have another question here from our commentary team. Your rating has steadily been going up the last few years.
Steadily.
Where do you think your ceiling is, and what do you need to work on to reach that?
Good question. Not sure. I don't know. Who knows? Hopefully 1100, but I don't know. Anything. My huge goal was hitting 1,000, and doing that in the last sort of 4 months or 5 months or 6 months or whatever it is has been fantastic. And what was it? What was the second part? What does it take to be?
Yeah. What would it like? What do you think? What do you think you need to do to reach that goal of 1100? Now you said
good question. I mean, a lot of regular golf, being able to play so many tournaments in a short period of time, I think is probably pretty helpful. Get dialed, keep the run, keep the groove. Like, we've got a lot of tournaments in Australia, but not as many sort of B tier, A tier consecutively. We have a handful per year, so it's good practice. I don't know what it'll take. Just if I can play well, if I'm dialed, if putting is good, there's a good chance of doing well, being successful. But as long as I have fun, that's the main aim.
What would it mean for you to start the European swing with the biggest win of your career? Like,
I mean, obviously,
I think
incredible.
Andrew means winning here.
It would be incredible. I think everyone would probably say a similar thing. Who knows? It's not something that I want to think about too much. Just try and have fun and focus on that. And if there's a good result from that, I mean, we're all blessed to be playing here at this tournament with Paul. So, I mean, I don't know. That's going to be fun to watch.
What are some of the differences playing disc golf in Europe compared to Australia?
A lot more variety. A lot more courses, I guess. Like, we've got I think we've just ticked over 100 something, so we've got a few, but I mean, our country's pretty big and few and far between for a lot of it. What else is, like, Europe is just so great in general because there's so many good players. Like, not to mention the courses, obviously, but just having so many people to push your ceiling and to sort of be a part of is fantastic and good for growth. So,
yeah. And almost last here. How can your viewers help support you? Do you have any social media?
Good question.
accounts?
Yeah, I've got socials. Instagram. I think my handle's Bayne08, BAYNEY08. I've got some tour support discs available on the Disc Golf Warehouse Australia website. So if you want to pick up one, please feel free to.
Yeah. And at the very end, anyone you want to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors?
That's a good one. A huge shout out to Innova, Disc Golf Warehouse, and Disc Doctor, and everyone back home in Brisbane especially. But anyone in Australia, shout out, thank you. Appreciate your support. It means the world, so thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Luke, and
Thanks, Renee.
I hope to see you again later this weekend.
Pleasure. Same. Thank you.
Awesome. Samuel Hänninen, welcome to Estonian Open, second season of the European Pro Tour. How do you feel getting off to such a hot start this season? You've had a pretty good start.
Yeah, I've had a pretty good start. It's feeling great. I want to be just a little bit better, to not lose sudden deaths and play just a little bit better.
Yeah. And what is it about your game that has improved from last season?
Many parts. I've had some struggles this season with like driving with like hard shots, but the approaches and touchy shots feel really great, and putting has been pretty consistent, at least on the European Pro Tour.
And this probably here.
I really enjoy this. It's really beautiful. I like the course. It's kind of short and touchy, but I think it's good for me.
Yeah. And question from Frisbeegolf Media: how does this course fit your game?
As I said, I think it fits my game really well. I don't have to like nail every shot, and I can use my scramble skills in lots of holes. At least the par fours feel like you throw somewhere and you probably have bit short approach, but it will probably be kind of scramble.
Yeah. And you mentioned shortly the playoff. What kind of feelings did you have after the dramatic playoff in Copenhagen with Marty?
I don't know. Can't really say much. I was kind of happy that I put myself to the position to win, but of course I felt really disappointed about not making the putt. I felt I had a really great chance to put pressure on Mauri, just to drive it really close. The hole is pretty simple. I made the same mistake I made in the round before the playoff, so I left it short left, had the same 11 meters putt. Should have made it, couldn't do that. It was kind of heartbreaking, but at least I got the USDC spot, so that felt, it lifted up my mood a bit.
Yeah. What would it mean for you to get revenge here and take down six-time world champion Paul McBeth?
That would be the dream. I think the man to beat this weekend will be Paul, of course, with his record. So that's what we're going for.
You're currently at the second place in the 2023 European Pro Tour total point standings. What do you see as more important, individual titles or the tour point title?
For me, of course, I think the individual titles, winning competition, is bigger than just placing in lots of good positions to get the points. But I feel that if you win and then win the tour points, then it's also matters a lot. But I think it like the point system should reward more of the like individual wins. So then like the champions would have higher chance to win also the tour points, and then it would be fair. I think.
You've had a solid start for the season so far. Are you happy with the first three competitions?
I'm happy with the first one. In Belgium, I think I threw so badly, like at least the 2.5 rounds. So I don't feel really happy about that. I putted really well. I think I missed only one or two putts inside the circle and made really many outside circle putts. But in Tali, my throw was off at least the first 2 rounds, and I didn't really score on the third round. Even I felt that I threw well. So not really happy about the last 2 ones, but the first one I feel kind of happy. It was a great start.
Yeah. And this was from Frisbeegolf Media, by the way. And there's another question from them. What do you need to improve in order for you to be on top this summer?
Consistency. I think it's the only thing lacking. I have all the shots. I have the putts. Just not making mistakes, and maybe some way get a more consistent forehand. I have the forehand, but in the competition it somehow doesn't work that well that I want.
And lastly here, please tell us about your new signature disc and how can viewers get them, and what other ways can they help to support you and your disc golf career?
It's a straight flying fairway driver, I would compare it to like FD or something like that. Really straight, really easy to throw, even if you're not a professional thrower. That's the easiest way to support. Then maybe if I have some kind of, I don't know, things coming up, then you can attend those and support me. Just send me a message that you're supporting. That helps.
And where can people buy that disc?
I think you can buy it from Power Grip, Kiekko Kingi, Freeba Store, everywhere. And even if you want, you can send me a DM and I send you one.
Awesome. And at the very end here, is there anyone you would like to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors?
To my family, of course, for supporting me, and the sponsors seen here.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Samuel, and I hope to see you again later this weekend.
Thanks.
Thank you. Cool. Mathias Villota, welcome to Estonian Open. The third stop of the European Pro Tour this season. We have a question here, opening hot from our commentator team. What generally feels better, scoring a goal in football or throwing an ace?
It's a good question, but I'd have to say maybe scoring a goal is a bit better because you have like 10 players behind you who also want to win. So, and if you throw ace, that's only good for you. But in football, it's a team game, and I think it feels a bit better.
Yeah. And the commentator team follows up. What are your goals, pardon the pun, for disc golf this season?
My goals to play as much as I can, get some top 10 finishes around Europe, and that's about it.
And is it possible to be a full-time professional disc golfer and footballer?
It can be possible, but you need to do a lot of talking with the football coach also. But I have everything sorted out, and disc golf is my main priority. If I have disc golf tournament, I will go disc golf tournament. But if I have free time, I will play football.
And maybe you brushed on this already, but what are your future career plans?
My future career plans, probably to travel in the US and play. So I think that would be the best one.
Disc golf for football.
Disc golf.
From Frisbee Golf Media, what do you need to focus on during Friday and Saturday in order for you to be in the lead card during Sunday?
Just play my game, be in bounds, and make the putts from 10 meters, and I think that would be enough.
And what would it mean for you to beat Paul McBeth and win your first Open Division 80 here in your homeland?
I think it will mean a lot, and it probably would not happen, but if it happens, then I will celebrate.
At last year's Estonian Open, you told us you never score well at this course, but then you still finished on a solid 14th place. Do you still have the same feeling about the course?
Yeah, but I'm going on a practice round right now, so I'm hoping that I will get a bit better friends with the course and maybe play better than last year.
Yeah. And from Frisbee Golf Media again, how does it feel to play here in Estonia?
It feels nice. You don't have to travel that far. It's good to be in your home country playing. That's always nice.
Do you expect that there will be a big crowd here Sunday, maybe?
I hope so, but I'm not sure.
And almost here at the end, how can viewers help support you?
I don't know. By coming to watch me, I think that would be the best way to support me.
You don't have Instagram or anything else you would like to maybe give a... No Instagram?
I know I have Instagram, but,
yeah.
But if somebody wants, you can follow me, Villota on Instagram.
Okay. So at the very end here, is there anyone you would like to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors?
My sponsor, Prodigy Disc, my family, my friends who always support me, and that's about it.
Okay. Thank you, Mathias, and I hope to see you again later this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. Paul McBeth, welcome to Estonian Open, third stop of the European Pro Tour for this season. How does it feel to be here in Estonia?
Feels pretty cold, but it's really cool. Last time I was here was 2017, so it's a different course now, but it feels really good to be back in Europe and got an extensive trip this time.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about this property and the course layout? I assume you've had time to practice?
Yeah, it's a really fun course. It's nice to be back in the woods, but have some open holes at the same time. So it's really nice to shape some shots. The par 4s are a little bit on the soft side, but the par 3s are very difficult to get. So it's a fun challenge.
And we have a question from the Finnish podcast, Tõugjas-Männiste, who are the ones who are doing the commentary for the Finnish stream, by the way. Mm-hmm. How does this course differ from the courses you are playing in the U.S.?
I prefer this kind of course. Like I said, it's a lot more wooded, a lot more shot shaping, which I feel like is kind of disappearing on the Pro Tour, which you'll see. You see what we play in the States. So really enjoyable, different kind of challenge. But this is kind of the disc golf that I grew up on.
And what would it mean to you to get your European Pro Tour or your European Tour off to a winning start and become the 9th different and first American to win an EPT event?
That'd be really cool. I didn't even know that, so it'd be a really cool honor. But wins have been hard to come by this year, so it'd be a really good feeling to start this trip off with one.
Yeah. And what do you think that the many young European players can learn by watching you play here at the Estonian Open?
Hopefully just solid professionalism and just hopefully I could just be a good person out there for them, good representative. So hopefully they can learn a lot.
Yeah. And how do you envision the future of disc golf for Europe and across the globe?
Can you repeat that? Sorry. The question?
How do you envision the future of disc golf for Europe and the world?
Oh, I mean, I say this with my foundation, with the Paul McBeth Foundation. I think it could be as big as soccer. I think it could be all around the world. I don't think there's anywhere that disc golf cannot be. And I think it'd be enjoyed by everyone.
And we'll come back to the foundation in just a little bit. Do you feel that Europe should host a World Championship in the near future? And if so, when and where would seem most appropriate from your point of view?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into hosting a World Championship, not just the course, but all the analytics behind the scenes. So it takes a really strong team to do that, and I really think that's all Europe needs is that kind of team and that kind of support. I think any country in Europe could do that, and around the world. It's just, like I said, it needs to have a strong team behind it, and things will match up.
Yeah. And back to the foundation. Please tell us about the Paul McBeth Foundation and what our viewers can do to help support the project.
Yeah, go to paulmcbethfoundation.org. There's all sorts of ways to help, whether it's donating discs, donating your time, or just donations in general. Paul McBeth Foundation is serving disc golf and putting disc golf in places that it may be underserved, in the sense of some places might not be able to get baskets, have the funding for baskets, or just might not know what disc golf is altogether. And putting disc golf in parts around the world that might not have the opportunity. So we're trying to reach out all around the world and just continue to spread the love of disc golf.
And you were in Spain last weekend with the Paul McBeth Foundation. What are your goals and hopes for the Paul McBeth Foundation for the coming years? Sorry.
No, just continual growth. Just getting new players, just introduced to disc golf and allowing them to enjoy what I enjoyed when I was a kid, and just the experience. And I think it can change people's lives. It doesn't have to be on the competitive side, but just finding community for so many is things that are lacking, I think, in this world today. So I think just the continual growth and the ability to share disc golf is my goal for the coming years.
And so there's a question actually from me, the Danish disc golf guy. Both you and Hannah are very active in disc golf. If anyone who knows you too knows that. With everything you do in disc golf, do you ever feel the need to unwind from disc golf? And if so, how do you do that?
Yeah, there's definitely times. Like last year before the European Open, we went to London for about 4 or 5 days prior to the European Open, just knowing it was going to be a big, busy week. You've seen how many people show up to that event and just how many obligations there can be. So unwinding before that, just prepping and getting ready for that, It's just something that I can do on tour. Maybe just take a couple days off and not play and just kind of enjoy a city and things like that. And then the off season's a big part of that too.
And almost at the end here, from the Finnish media, Frisbee Golf media, how does European disc golf need to evolve in order for the Europeans to beat Team US in the President's Cup this year and coming years?
I think it's getting closer every year. And I think if the European players can not look at us as their idols and people that they've looked up to and just go out there and want to beat us, I think that'll be one of their biggest strengths.
Yeah. And lastly, again from Ykkösrinki, the Finnish podcast, what are your expectations result-wise from this European trip?
Result-wise, I just want to play well. I want to showcase good disc golf, be entertaining, and do all that. Just be a good representative. If I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. It's not the end of the world. I'm still going to come out here and enjoy myself and play disc golf.
Awesome. And at the very end here, as we ask everyone, is there anyone you would like to give a shout-out to? Friends, families, sponsors?
Yeah, sponsors, Discraft. They're the reason I'm out here and able to do this extensive trip. And just thanks to everyone that's watching at home. And hopefully you can come out, and I'll be on tour for 8 weeks out here, and hopefully you can make it out to one of these events.
Excellent. Thank you, Paul McBeth.
Yep.
Paul McBeth, I hope to see you again later this weekend.
Thank you.
Keiti Tätte. Welcome to Estonian Open.
Hello, thank you.
You're the highest rated player in the field, and you're playing in your home country. How do you feel about going into this weekend?
Wow, I'm actually surprised that I'm the highest because I think there are a lot of good FPO players here. Yeah, but I'm very excited to play with all of them.
Yeah. And what would it mean for you to get a big time breakout win here in your homeland?
Oh, it would mean a lot because it was very close last year. So yeah, I'm here to win.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts or feelings to share about this event or the European Championships, which will also be held here in Estonia?
Yeah, I think it's so cool that we have European Championships here and Lauluväljak, the course, it will be amazing, I'm sure, and I'm really waiting for that one, yeah.
You shot some hot rounds and led for most of the event here last year. What does it take to score well on this course?
I'm always been good in the forest, so I think the main thing is to hit the gaps and make the putts.
Make the gaps and make the putts. That sounds like a good plan, yeah. The Estonians have been playing exceptionally well so far in this year's EPT events. What do you think has been the key to this success?
I know that a lot of players who have been doing well, they do a lot of work. So there are just so many working hours behind all that good play.
What are your plans and goals for the rest of this season?
I plan to go to the States next Sunday. I'm going to play 3 Pro Tour tournaments there, then come back for some European tournaments, and after European Championships, go back to the States to finish the year with Worlds and some other Pro Tour events.
And we have a question from Frisbee Golf Media from Finland. You had a long stretch in the US, but you've been back a while. You've been back here in Estonia for a while now. What have you been doing here in Estonia?
At first I was just resting because it takes so much time to adjust to the new time when you come back from the States. But I have played 2 Estonian Pro Tour stages, what are in Estonia. I got second on both of them, so I have been competing, yeah. And
you mentioned earlier that you think there are so many good players in the field here for this event. Who do you see as your biggest contestants this weekend?
Keiti, Anneli, Kaire, Silva. Yeah.
That's
there
half
are a
of
lot
the field.
of them.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's great. So almost at the end here, how can our viewers help support you?
Follow me on Instagram. Buy my discs. I have a Team Series disc Sapphire. It flies really well, so you should try.
And where can people buy that?
From Latitude. Latitude, yeah.
Excellent. And at the very end here, is there anyone you would like to give a shout out to? Friends, families?
Yes, thank you Latitude 64 for giving me a chance to be a professional disc golfer, and all the other good companies and people who have been supporting me, my family and friends. Thank you all.
Excellent. Thank you. And I hope to see you again later this weekend.
Thank you.
Hello, Anneli Tõugjas-Männiste.
Hi.
Welcome here to Córdoba, the third stop of the European Pro Tour this season. How does it feel to get off to such a hot start for this season and to be at the top of the EPT points table after the first two events?
I don't think about it. I just play and I try my best all the time.
Yeah. And how familiar are you with this course here, and how do you think it suits your game?
Estonians play this course every year. Something always happens in here, and we had our Estonian nationals also in here in 2019.
And what would it mean for you to get your first European Pro Tour win here in your homeland as well?
Oh, in Estonia it would be awesome, but I try not to think about it, and I just try to enjoy as much as I can in here with this weather.
And what are your goals and your hopes for this season?
I'm doing all the EPT events and some Euro Tour events, and I want to get my rating up a bit. So that's the most important thing, is to just play and enjoy.
And how does the 2023 version of Anneli compare to previous years? And what has been your biggest improvements?
I think my mental game has improved so much. I have seen some professionals because I've had some troubles with it. And also I trained a lot in this winter, like a lot, twice a day.
And how do you train? Like, how do you keep physically and mentally fit here in Estonia during the winter?
Every day I went to ski or run, and then I went straight to like putting, approaching, driving, all the stuff, and gym. And I went to like work out, go to work, work out.
So keeping yourself busy.
Yeah.
So what can the viewers do to help support you? Do you have discs, Instagram, anything?
I don't have discs, but maybe if I win, I get my own disc. I don't get my hopes up.
So do you have an Instagram account where people can follow you?
Yes, it's Anneli Tõugjas-Männiste. You can't write it. I think you just have to look it up.
You Google it.
Yeah,
you find
Google
it. At the end here, Anneli, is there anyone you would like to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors?
Yeah, of course, my sponsors. Discmania and Discsport, and some other companies that have supported me. Also my husband, so he's watching now.
Great. Thank you very much, Anneli, and I hope to see you later this weekend.
Yes, thank you.
Elina Rydberg, welcome to Estonian Open.
Thank you.
Is this your first time playing in Estonia?
Yes, this is my first time, and we arrived yesterday evening, and first time playing the course today.
And what do you think of the property and the course layout here?
It's a very beautiful property. I can see that it's a lot of activities, and being from Sweden and growing up close to Norway, I can see some resemblance to the woods here. Oh. The course itself is really beautiful, tight lines, but you need to shape some shots, and gives you definitely both the backhand and the forehand. And you need to set your approaches because it's a fast greens.
And how does this course suit your play style, and what is your game plan?
I would say that this course suits me quite well. I prefer to throw straight shots with my fairway drivers and mid-ranges, and I think that it opens up for it with the tight wooded lines, coming from a wooded course as my home course. So, but the game plan is to basically stay on the fairway and make my putts.
And round one of both the European Pro Tours events you have played this year have been a bit of a struggle, but you've bounced back and made the biggest moves up the leaderboard in the following rounds. What have you learned from those experiences, and how do you think you can get off to a better start this weekend?
Well, to put it short, I'm going to try not to mess up the first round. I don't know why that's happened. Some parts were the winds in Copenhagen, and in Belgium I just had a weird feeling in my body that I couldn't shake, but I felt prepared, although the score didn't show that. But bouncing back, for especially in Belgium with a +4 after a +16, felt really good.
What would it mean for you to get on the podium or even win this event?
That would mean a lot. I haven't been on the podium in a EPT since Tinja last year, so that would mean the world.
And please tell us a little about your YouTube channel, organizing of workshops, podcasting, and other disc golf content and community building efforts. I know that's a big question, but...
It's a big question, but yeah, I'm running a YouTube channel, trying to have some tips, tricks, vlogs, to show people what it's like being an FPO player. I'm trying to make a series as Life of a Disc Golfer that shows you some behind the scenes, what it takes to work full time, be a mom of 3, a partner, and all of that. So you can check that out. You can Google my name and you'll find the YouTube channel. Prior, I was co-host of a podcast called Kedja Ut. I'm not doing that anymore, unfortunately. Time only goes for some parts, and but it's very fun to discuss the sport. I think most disc golfers talk about disc golf basically all the time, so getting to do that in media form is fantastic.
Awesome. And what other, they mentioned here, community building efforts, like what else are you doing in that regards?
I'm hosting a lot of clinics, or some, and getting a lot of requests, but since the competition season is so narrow and the time outside goes mostly to my family, I try at least to host a few clinics per year, focusing on the FPO and mostly amateurs, but also junior divisions, which is really close to my heart. They are the future of the sport, and if we want to build up a proper foundation of the sport, we need to start with the juniors and teach them properly how to behave on the course, how to play smart, and don't just do all the crazy stuff because it's fun, but teach them how smart fun could be also.
You're one of the players that has signed up for almost all of the European Pro Tour events this season with the Tour Pass. What was it that made you commit so wholeheartedly to playing on the EPT here in 2023?
Last season, I was focusing mostly on a little bit bigger tournaments. I was playing the national tour in Sweden, but I wanted to test my waters and see how I compare to European players. So I played at Järva and also the EPT at Tinja, as I mentioned before. And being part of that and getting to travel for disc golf is a really big dream of mine, and this year I got the opportunity, both with the Tour Pass and also by the help of my sponsors. So I think I'm going to make all but Nokia, which is last week or next week, due to the Swedish National Championships in doubles division. So those two were on the same weekend, so I couldn't make both, unfortunately.
That's sad to hear, but good that you're on the other events. How can viewers support you?
You could follow me on Instagram. That means a lot to me to see the comments and get the cheers from all my followers. It means the world. Also, by supporting my sponsors, you could support me to build my career. Clash Discs, Disc Guy Sweden, Fly Towel, and Ching.
And now we're already into the last part, which is anyone you would like to give a shout out to, friends, families, and sponsors?
I would like to give a shout out to my amazing partner, I know he's watching, and also to my son, Alexander. Mamma saknar dig jättemycket och vi ses på måndag när jag kommer hem.
Thank you very much, Elina, and I hope to talk to you again later this weekend. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Tinja Väisänen, welcome to European Pro Tour
Thank you.
here in Estonia.
Yes.
So, how do you feel about the course? Have you had a chance to practice?
Yeah, I had 2 practice rounds, and also I was playing here last year. I really like this course. I think it fits my game pretty well. So, yeah. I'm excited.
And you mentioned you played here last year. How does it feel to be back here?
Good. I think I played pretty well last year, except 2 last holes. So it kept me a little bit of a hunger till this year. So.
And main things necessary to score well on this course, in your opinion?
I think you have to hit the gaps and also make the putts.
And for you, what discs do you think will be the workhorse for this weekend? The discs you will be using the most?
I think I will be using my feedback and MX3 and PA3.
How does the course fit your game?
I think it fits pretty well. Not too many long holes, and I think I have many birdie chances here.
Regarding the season, what are your goals and your hopes for this season?
Well, I have pretty many competitions coming ahead, so I just want to play well and get some podium finishes.
What is the best way? How are you feeling about this season so far?
I think in Belgium I found my game sort of, but I lost it in Helsinki Pro Tour last weekend. But I'm feeling pretty confident at the moment. I had a pretty good practice round, so it's feeling okay.
Yeah, and sort of a question leading into this from Frisbeegolf's media from Finland. You were 4th in Belgium, and what do you think you need to improve to be on the podium on Sunday?
Get my head in the game. I think that is the main thing.
And what is the best way for our viewers to help support you?
Follow me on social media, on Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, and just send nice messages maybe.
Good. And at the very end here, Tinja, is there anyone you would like to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors?
I want to give a huge shout out to Prodigy Disc and Prodigy Disc Europe for sponsoring me and making all of this possible.
Okay, thank you very much, Tinja, and I hope to talk to you later this weekend.
Thank you.